welcome to Fresh Agent Marketing. I'm your host, Scott Hudspeth, and I'm here with Kelli Higgins, the one and only extraordinary. Kelli, you have so many talents, so I don't want to put you in any one box because you've helped so many thousands of agents, and you just create some amazing branding material. We could talk branding, we could talk marketing, we could talk all that stuff, but I think we're going to go the branding route. Would you agree with that today? Okay.
I think so.
All right, Kelli. So without further ado, Kelli Higgins with, is it Elevated Agent?
Yes, sir.
Elevated Agent. So you got to check her out.
Hello.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, my friend.
Yes, so I am going to open up the question board also in case anybody wants to drop a question over in the chat or the question board, whichever. I'm going to kind of keep my eyes on those. And before we get started, I'm going to just take a second and kind of let you know who I am, what I do, and why I do it. So like Scott said, my name is Kelli. I am the Elevated Agent. You may or may not have seen us, but we really are very focused in on real estate agents. That's the only people that we serve. We also really focus hard on branding and then also marketing. So I've been a real estate agent now for actually in February. Tomorrow, this February, is my 16th year in real estate. Wow. I started when I was really young, but I've always lived in really rural communities where it wasn't something that someone could really make a good living at. I'm in the middle of Kansas, in rural Kansas. It's like my hometown has 1,000 people in it. There's no stoplights, you park in the middle of the street. That's how small I'm talking. So I moved to Topeka, our state capital, about 7 years ago, and really just dug into real estate once again. And then all of a sudden, I started getting phone calls from our state board saying, somebody turned you in for your marketing.
Whoa, what?
Yes.
Seriously?
I started getting calls like once a week, and I was not doing anything wrong, because I am a rule follower. Let me tell you, I'm a rule follower. And so the board just got to know me on a first name basis because they're like, someone's turning you in again. But it was really because people were like, there is no way that marketing can work like that. That has to be illegal. Like, people were seeing what I was doing and they were like, no. So what I was doing was I was doing CMAs. And this was, again, back in 2015 time frame. So like these were kind of new things, but I had my Topeka home value, I think is what it was, like just the website. So I was doing CMAs for people and then calling them and following up, and I was door knocking. Oh my goodness, I got called. I even got a complaint that I was door knocking, and I was like, what? And so, I mean, like, I was doing all these things and people just weren't used to it. So that being said, people started asking me, like, where are you getting this stuff? So my background is in marketing, and with a little bit of a strange twist, economic development. So I was also an economic developer for Coffee County, which is a county here in Kansas. And what that did for me is it really allowed me to understand business, to understand what grows business, and to understand red light and green light. And so I took all of that information, I took my marketing, and I really put it together into real estate. And so that is where Elevated Agent was born. I create marketing material for real estate agents that are very affordable and that you can then have ownership over and use in your market as you see fit. A lot of our templates go anywhere from $5 to $20. It's really pretty much the range. If you buy some of the bundles, they are a little bit more expensive, but that's really where we started. And then I was like, okay, all these people are buying these templates, which is great. However, they really don't have a theme, or they really don't have an end target, which would be their brand. So I was seeing that some of these agents were buying some of these pieces, and really they are almost hurting their brand because they were all so different looking. And so then that's when I was like, okay, we also need some really good education over branding for real estate agents, because it's just not something that's really talked about in our industry. However, what we think is so small can have such a huge impact on your overall business.
So and you're going to probably address this, but if I'm just starting out, don't really have a brand, don't know really how to start one, you can guide us that direction. Or hey, I'm advanced, been around for a long time. Do I really need a brand being that I'm doing really good? Would that help me do better? Stuff like, questions like that.
Yes. So I like to say that we complicate branding. When you go on Google, if you Google how to brand yourself, it's going to say things like, you need to find your ideal customer. You need to decide why you want to do it. You need to know all of your hopes and dreams. You also need to ride a unicorn and have lots of duct tape. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, what? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So what I always say is, okay, great. Let's start branding, right? Tell me one thing that you love. Tell me one thing that you're really into. Tell me how you want your customers to feel. Okay, great. We're going to throw all these things into a bowl. We're going to mix them together. And that's what we're going to create your brand out of. We're going to create a brand out of where you want to be, the person you want to be, and the clients you want to have. And then we're going to back out of that. And really, that's how you build a good brand, is starting from where you want to be and then taking it apart and figuring it out from there. So let's start with a good example.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm a brand new agent and I have no clients, no listings, no nothing, right? I'm brand new. And I am really into, give me something.
Boating.
Perfect. I'm really into boating. So what I would probably do from that point is I would probably start by talking about boating more in general, but I would also think, okay, how can I tie boating to real estate? So if you're into boating, you might say things like, this garage can fit a perfect size fisherman's boat.
Got it. Love it.
Or if you're into boating and you have clients that are into boating, then go to your local marina or wherever you go boating and start advertising there, because you're going to like those people anyways. You're already into what they're into. Perfect. Start by passive marketing. So I like to say you like kind of start stirring it a little bit with passive marketing. So I'm gonna wear my t-shirt that says my real estate team on it. Okay. Maybe on the side of my boat, I might name my boat, my real estate team name. Okay. And then a lot of times certain marinas or different lakes, we don't have marinas where I'm from, or I guess what you guys would call marinas, but we have lakes. But then most of those places have groups on Facebook or somewhere.
Great idea.
Okay. And so I'm not going to talk real estate in those groups. I'm going to start posting photos of my passive branding on my boat stuff, right? Like take a picture of your boat and be like, oh, I can't wait to get it on the water in a few months, but right there's your logo. Awesome, right? So then once you kind of start doing some of that passive marketing, then you're going to you already understand the boater's mindset, and you also understand the people that are at that marina. So then you're going to start targeting them. Maybe if you know that there's a large population of people that live in a certain area that come boating, or you want to market to the area around the lake, you can then start getting into some more physical marketing that way. But also I would definitely, if you're really into boating and that's what you want to pursue, I would probably tie some sort of boat graphic or some sort of verbiage that refers to boating in with your tagline, your logo, or even your business name somehow, because you really want it to be 360.
Interesting. So really what you're saying is promote passively what you love to do. And the right people will come in, the wrong people will go away.
Yeah. Yes. And so, I mean, it really is that easy. It is that easy. So I have another great example. I have a client down in Texas. She is amazing, but she's also pretty new. She has been in real estate, I think maybe 3 years. And this year, I guess 2022 was the first year she went full time, which was great, but she was nervous, right? She came to me and she was like, my brand's going good, but I feel like it isn't different. It doesn't, like, there's not anything that really sets me apart from someone else. So she really didn't need to change any of her branding aesthetics or pieces, but she really wanted to like just set herself apart a little bit. So I said, great, give me what you're interested in. And she went through a lot of things. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't really feel like those are like really, like, she was like, I really like my dog. You know, I go to Pilates like when I can, you know, like it was just kind of like, well, you don't really seem that interested in those things. And I was like, what's that one thing that you wake up and you're like, I can't wait to like get all this stuff done so I can go do that. And she was like, I love to read. And I was like, that's interesting. Okay, how can I tie reading in with real estate? Like that seems different, right? So I said, okay, I have an idea. I said, what if every single house you showed that you could possibly do this with, so it couldn't be a vacant house, but what if every single house you showed, you took a photo of a book you found in that house and you posted it on social media, and then you start conversations around that book. You know, somewhere in a house, there's a book. If someone lives in it, there's a book somewhere. It could be a kid's book. It could be like The End of the Sidewalk or whatever that poem book is. And you could be like, I loved this book as a kid. And then I guarantee there will be comments on that post saying, oh my gosh, I read that book too. Or, oh my goodness, my favorite teacher, she read that through the whole year. Those are going to start conversations.
Wow.
So she started doing that. And so then she kind of became known as the reader agent, right? And so she was able to tie in her reading into real estate. Then we took it a step further. And I said, great, now you're going to start your own book club and you're going to start your own private group on Facebook for your book club. Whoa. And so now these people that are leaving comments on these books that she's posting are interested in getting into her book club.
Wow. Wow.
That is branding. Brilliant. That is Brilliant. Amazing. Yes.
Yeah. So it's all about the book, but part of that, like, I'm guessing with this private group does it have her logo that she is a real estate agent, and so people know that come to the book club that that's who she is and what she does?
Yes, but yeah. I'm very much I don't ever want people to feel like they're going into this because they're going to get sold. So yeah. I always coach my clients to make it much more passive than they feel like they need to. Because let me tell you, people know you sell real estate. Yeah. Okay. Like you don't need to say I'm a real estate agent, you know, like they know that. Yeah. Right. But things like, okay, when you go live in your group, wear your shirt. When you go live in your group, say, oh my goodness, I was showing houses all day today. I'm so exhausted, but I couldn't wait for this reading or whatever. You know, like saying things like that mean a lot more than just that hard selling all the time. And there are a lot of studies and facts coming out about this. And it really comes down to our different generations. The older generation, they like that hard sell. And they are the ones that always told us that we need to always remind people that we're in business. On the back of your business card probably says, my greatest compliment is your referral. Like that's the older generation. Those are the people that are telling us it works for them. But also millennials, Gen Z, Gen whatever, they have caught on to those tricks, and it's off-putting if you were to show up in a Facebook group and be like, hey, by the way, I sell real estate. Who do you know that wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Like people would leave that book club group so fast.
I love it. Okay.
They're not going to put up with it.
So more subtle. Okay. Hey, if anybody has any questions for Kelli, please shout. Because we get Kelli here and she's just a wealth of knowledge and just her mind, the way it works. And I'm thinking, because I always put myself in the situation of like you're doing book club and the boat, and I'm like, all right, what is my thing? What if?
Yeah.
Okay. So seriously, let me ask you this, because my true love, and I think it's yours too, is marketing. Like love. Like I love to make the phone ring. I love to connect with people. I love to talk with people. I love to just be like, help people in any way, shape, or form, whether I work with them or not. Right. Yeah. So what light bulb turns on for you that goes, okay. I mean, I'm not a digital marketer. Like I'm not a content creator like you. Like that's why I have, that's why I love people like you, is I'm not that person, but I love the strategy. I love the technology. I love systems. that just do it for me, with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not sure what your question is. Sorry.
Oh, I'm just saying. So like if you were let's just switch it to a real estate agent. So if a real estate agent is passionate about, you know, helping people, you know, like, hey, I just love the process.
That's great.
You know, like I love the process of when somebody comes to me, whether I work with them or not. I just, you know, because like a stat that I read off last week was only 13% of I think it was 67% of the customers feel that they're not being heard. They don't, like, nobody listens, 13%. So it was a very, very, very high number that we just kind of go through the motions. So a lot of times our job as real estate agents or loan professionals is the process, right? Making people feel special. And that's the process is what I love, not the journey, not the end of the road, but the process.
I see what you're saying. Okay. So I think there is a misconception in real estate that we don't really do anything.
For sure.
So if you say, I really just want to be known for great customer service. I really want to be known. And I would even say, if that's you, great, but maybe even take it down one step deeper and say, okay, what in your customer service do you want to be known for? Do you want to be known for the most efficient? Do you want to be known with the best communicator? Do you want to be known for the bulldog negotiator? You know what I mean? Like, I would even take it down a step further and say, maybe pick something, and it doesn't have to be forever, but get started. To get started, let's pick something even deeper than just customer service, because that's a really big umbrella. So for this example, let's talk about communication. Like, because you were saying that they felt like they were kind of 60, what was your stat?
Yeah, it was like a 67% of the people don't feel they're being heard.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's really awful.
Their needs. Yeah. It was like, and it was, I was like, wow, man, like that's too bad. 6 out of 7 or 7 out of 10 people, like, nobody listens to me when, especially on a large like my home, my car, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's awful, honestly. Yeah. Like, that's really bad. And I do know, just from working in real estate, we are in trouble for that. You know what I mean? Like, that's on us. So what I would do if you're wanting to look into, or if you're wanting to really say, I'm the best communicating agent, like, you're going to know every part of the process, I would first, before making that proclamation, I would make sure that your foundation is solid. Okay. Because you can't just because if you say these things and you don't if you're really not producing those results, people will see through you so fast. So fast. So then what I would do is I would make sure that everything that you have throughout a transaction is top notch. I would put down a buyer's transaction and a seller's transaction, and I would look at every single step of that process and where and how you communicate with your client. Let's just go with the buyer side. So I'm going to say, got a new buyer at an open house. Great. How am I communicating with them after the open house? That's a magic spot that you could communicate with the person, right? Yeah. How are you communicating with them a week after the open house? Like, that's kind of maybe a good spot. Okay, let's say then your communication has opened and you've started a relationship with this now buyer. Where are you communicating with them, and how are you communicating with them? Is it through email, through text, through messenger, whatever your avenue, own it. So let's say text messaging. Text messaging has been shown to be the #1 most open form of communication. So I love text messaging. You can find if you go to my website, shopelevatedagent.com, and you just search text, TEXT, you're going to see all of our templates for texting. Like, they're amazing. You don't have to do anything but just add your photo. So we have a template that is for different steps of the transaction. So one of the steps is going to say, great, you're now under contract. Here is your inspection date. And you would write in the inspection date in the box inside of Canva. And then it would say, your earnest money is this much. You would write that inside of Canva. And your check needs to be made out to XYZ. And you would actually just write that in Canva. You download it out of Canva onto your phone as an image. And then you go over to your text message and you say, hey, Scott, just wanted to, again, to say congratulations on your contract. Here are your next steps. Before they ask, you need to be sending them. And I'm going to tell you right now, if your client is asking for something that you didn't give them, you need to write that down. If a client is saying, I never got a copy of that contract, can you send it to me? Okay, write that down, because there's no reason why you shouldn't have sent them that contract. Your clients are telling you what they want. And the bad thing is most of us don't listen.
I love it. I love it.
So those are the ways that you can start communicating better, right? So now, how do you take that great foundation? Because let's say, okay, you really do communicate. You are the best communicating agent in your area, but how do you show that to the world and create a brand around it? And now this is going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. And I'm sorry, but you're going to have to get over it, but you're going to have to show it. Okay. A lot of people don't like doing that.
Talk is cheap.
Yes. So things that I'm thinking is, let's say you sent that text message to your client and she texted you back and she said, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Thank you so much for sending that. You should screenshot that and put it on your stories. Okay. Screenshot and be like, yes, another one under contract. You're not saying I'm the best. Look at what I did. You could say like, congratulations to Shelly. She's under contract now. But people are seeing how you're communicating with her. They're seeing what you sent to her in that text message subconsciously. Okay, like we're back to the kind of a passive thing again. You don't have to say, ooh, look how I talk to my clients. Aren't I the best? No, that's not what I'm saying. You're taking a screenshot of her amazing feedback for what you sent her. You're going to put it on your stories or your page, whatever. And then people are subconsciously going to start seeing these things and they're going to be like, damn, that girl knows what she's doing. She's on top of things. How does she always know to do that? And people will see it and they will start to remember. The one thing though, that is the ultimate most important is you have to be consistent with posting those things. Posting one screenshot is not a brand create.
I just went, I did exactly what you said. You mind if I share your site?
No, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So, so really quick. So I went to Shop Elevated Agent. So this is, I literally put in text. That's all I put in. Search results 30. And I like the thought process here is just so insane to me that you like, the best part about when I met you is I don't have to think, it just shows up and it just is there. So like CMA text message template, CMA text peaceful, just listed, under contract, here's under contract, open house, thank you text, like with
and so there are multiple of these, but in different styles. So if you don't like pink and black, I mean, you can go and get the exclusive one. If you don't mind, click on that one that says under contract text message template, either of them, they're both fine. Okay. And so this is what I was talking about, how it says your homework. It introduces your agent. It also gives you an opportunity to introduce other people in the transaction. If you have a TC, send your picture of your TC to your clients so they know that they're a real person. If you pretend that you have a TC, but it's actually you, but you want to feel like a baller, that's fine. Put a fake person in there.
I love it.
Fake it till you make it. I believe in it.
It's just unreal. So anything.
That's done. And also you said there's 30 templates. There are 30 templates, but you need to remember in a lot of these templates that you're purchasing, there are actually several inside of that also.
For sure. Yeah.
So, and if you see, just a side note, two side notes, actually, if you see where it says peaceful or playful, whatever, those are our brand styles. And so we have a lot of brands that are this peaceful brand. So if you like the aesthetic of this design, you can actually shop that entire suite of products designed with that aesthetic.
Cool. Can I,
if you don't know what your brand style is, no problem. We have a quiz. You just go to our homepage there at shopelevatedagent.com and just take the quiz. It's free.
And it'll throw it up there too. So let's see who we got. Cool. So Mary writes like, this is awesome. So I have to talk about this because I think it's gonna, there's so, like Kelly, there's so much content. And here's the crazy part. When I started like creating Fresh Agent Marketing, and I'm like, okay, I need some content. Like you came about, I'm like, oh my God, this is like, oh my God. Kelly has so much, she has everything. I don't need it. And then we got on the phone, you're like, hey, this $5 a month thing, like, this is like, what? I'm like, what? I go, well, the cool part about this is I don't have to think, it just shows up. Can you talk about how that came about? And like, I know you have so many subscribers, but it's so easy. And I actually look forward to it every morning. I even signed up and I'm not an agent. So I was like, Kelly's like, no. I go, no, I have to, Kelly. I have to see the whole process. Like, that's how I am, And so you want to talk about that a little bit? Because I think there's so much coming at us 24/7. And now that we're talking about content and real estate content and real estate marketing, all that stuff, everybody's going to see it on their feeds, right? Like 44 million pieces of content. I was like, oh my God, which one do I pick? What do I use? How do I use it? Can you talk about how you put that together?
Yes, I know that when you go online, like there are no lack of options, but I don't know about you. There are a lot of people that do what I do out there, and they sell those huge bundles of like 1,000 pieces. And I'm just like, I would buy that and then not ever open it because I would.
I know, right.
So in my mind, I wanted to help people with social media. If I'll just type it real quick.
I'm going to go there if you want. You want me to go there?
You can if you want, but it really came about because I was like, I want to help people with social media, but a secret thing about Kelly is I really don't like social media. I understand it. I know what they want. I understand the strategy, but it's just something that I guess struggle with. So I was like, okay, how can I do social media in a way that I like it and in a way that I think it could ultimately help agents the most?
Mm-hmm.
So when I started Elevated Agent, I always said everything that I make has to be plug and play, because I know agents, I am one, I know how y'all think. And if it isn't easy, if there is an extra hurdle that you have to cross, y'all ain't gonna do it. And we all know it, right?
Me too.
I can't see anyone, but I know y'all are shaking your heads, yes. And so I always wanted to include some sort of text, and it took me a little while. It took me a couple of years to really figure out how to logistically do it. So I finally figured it out. What it is and we actually went to an every day of the month instead of weekday, but it's every day of the month. You will get a post, a caption for that post, and a matching story. And so you get those 3 pieces every single day. And inside the membership portal, you have access to it in one chunk if you wanted to schedule everything out. Or this was my imagination baby. We text it to you every day at 7 a.m. Central. You will get a text from Elevated Agent that says, "Good morning, agent. Here is your post for today," or whatever it says. And then you click on it on your phone through your text message, and it'll open up into your Canva app with one click. And you can either download it just like it is, or you can edit it inside of Canva for your own brand. And then you have that post for the day in 2 minutes.
It's insane.
It is so easy.
Yeah, too easy. I didn't even know I could go get it inside the portal, to be honest with you. I don't even want to go there because I'm like, okay.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. It seems like people either do it one way or the other. Totally fine. That's the great thing, is that you get to pick. It's $5 a month. We add the next month on the 15th of the month, and then that current month drops off on the last day. So for example, February's posts were added into the portal on the 15th of January, and then you won't have access to January's after today. It just drops off.
Okay. You don't need them though, because it's just
once you click on the links, they're inside your Canva anyways. So
yeah, right. Tool. Yeah, and I was telling you before we got on, I look forward to it every morning at 8 o'clock. I'm like, it's almost 8. Here it comes. What's Kelly gonna say today? What's the post gonna be? I don't have to think. It's just there. So it's so cool, so amazing. Congratulations.
I really truly tried to make that I don't, other than doing it for you, there's nothing else I can do to make it easier. And I know that doing it for them that's not the business I want to be in.
Yeah, I don't know if Dougie Fresh is on here, but I know a good friend of mine, Dougie. He I showed him. He's like, done. That's too easy. He goes, I'm going to give this to my team. I'm going to have them put their number in. Just go.
That's what a lot of people do, is they have their assistants, their TCs or whatever. They put their number in, and so then we just send it to them.
Yeah. So I guess if nobody has any questions, I have a couple. So I'm gonna steal all your time. Does anybody have any questions whatsoever? Anything at all?
Yeah, if you guys need some like idea generation, feel free to drop your interest. I can kind of help you dig out maybe some ideas or something to do for any of that too.
Perfect. So my question is, say that a lot of people once here we go. Let's just see what this says here. On the website. So go ahead.
Yep, Jana, that is a great question. So if you purchase something off of the website, let's say that buyer presentation for $20, once you complete your transaction, you will actually have access to a download instantly. It's a Word doc. You just open up that Word doc, and inside of the Word doc is your Canva template link. And so you just click that link and it'll open it straight up in Canva. And then that template's yours forever.
Forever and ever. And then Canva, I got to do a class on Canva because I literally go on there every day. I'm like inspiration, and then I find a quote, and then I put my words in it. And so fun. Barbara, great question.
Yeah, that's great, Barbara.
I'm just going to read it out loud so everybody can hear it. If you specialize in a new home constructions, how would you passively, I got chills on this one. I love touring homes, so I know Kelly's excited about this one. Kelly, what you got?
Of course. So you can clearly post pictures when you're touring. Barbara, I would be taking pictures and videos everywhere, even if you don't use them, just so you can have like back content if you ever need it. Make a folder on your phone. Whenever you tour a home, at the end of the day, like when you're laying in bed, all of the photos and videos, just go and put them into that folder. So that way you just always have access to content. I would definitely do that. Another thing is that I would highlight really cool surprises. So let's say you're in the kitchen and they have this really cool knife drawer, and you open it up and it's like the magnetic one where you like stick them in, and you could just be like, oh my gosh, look at what I found today. Like, that's crazy. This is what I found on my showing today. But also I would say, I actually, on my real estate team that I'm a part of, I'm not the head of it, but we actually have a builder that we work with. So this is a great question. But I'm constantly telling them that they need to, and I say they as the people that work with the new construction, but they need to be talking about trends. Because that's really popular when it comes to new construction. So I would be very vocal on the color of the year. Let's see, different, like if matte black is out, but like chrome is back in, like talk about that stuff. There's also nothing wrong with showing images that aren't yours, as long as you have proper okay. But also just know too, if you're not selling anything other than like your services, but like if you post a photo and you're not actually selling that house or anything inside of that house, that's okay. I always like to put credit to whoever the photo came from. Go onto Instagram, follow some really cool people, and then you're going to really start getting inspiration. If you're wanting to really push your new construction business, I actually have this is one of my favorites that I've ever designed. I call it my baby because it's 50 pages. And it took me a year to make this. Wow. So we actually have a new construction guide. I know it's really hard to see, but this baby is full of information. The great thing about our templates is, let's say you don't want, let's say your process is different. Okay, this is a timeline here. Let's say your process is different. You don't want this page in there. Just delete it. You don't have to do anything. You just delete it out of the guide, and it's
inside Canva. So that whole guide. And guys, I just went to that same site I shared with you, just so you guys know it's right here. New construction guide. Boom, 46 pages included. That shows you, that goes right into Canva, that allows you to edit everything yourself, make it your own. So,
and like, not to pat myself on the back, but it's beautiful. Like when I got it printed, like I wanted to sleep with it because I was like, this is my favorite. But
we'll
like it's $20.
We'll cut that part out of the, don't worry guys, we'll cut that part. Yeah, no, I'm just joking.
No, it's okay. Leave it in. I'm weird, so it's fine. But this is something though that you can have available to your people that come to you. If you do a consult for your builder, you can have this. We also actually have on the other side is if you actually work with a builder, like one in particular, we have this one. Sorry, my camera but this one is actually for builders. So you can customize this one for your builder, and it can be based off of your personal process.
And that could be the picture of they can edit it for themselves as well, right? So once you download it, you make it your own. You call it what you want, right? Pretty much. I mean, is that?
And everything you see is included, but feel free to change out the photos or change the words or whatever. You really do need to make it your own.
Yeah.
A lot of times I choose photos that are pretty across the board, like normal or whatever, but there are locations that these photos aren't useful, like in the desert, or something, I don't know. So you will need to make it your own. But just side note also is if you want to get a large quantity printed, I use Printivity. I don't have a large.
What's it called?
Printivity.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to be honest, I don't have a large printer that I'm just like absolutely in love with.
Okay.
I wish I could find a large printer that I could create a partnership with and just be able to trust them a little bit more, but I have yet to find that. However, if you just need 5 printed, let's say if you get a buyer's presentation and you have a buyer tonight and you need it really fast, Office Max is a great option. I get things printed at Office Max all the time. They have the ability to saddle stitch, which is what this is called.
It's called
It's called a saddle stitch. So if you go to their website to order, you're going to want to click on booklet and then pick saddle stitch. That is what gives these 2 staples. Also know that everything has to be divisible by 4 to create a full booklet. So however many pages you have, please make sure it's divisible by 4 so that way they can print it correctly.
Cool. Amazing. Unbelievable.
A little extra tips there.
So let me tell you, what is the number one thing that you're selling right now that people are taking the most? Like, what do you see? What's the trend? Like, what is it for anyone? Because I know, maybe you don't want to share because it's your secret.
No, it's great. So I saw a pretty significant shift last year. I haven't really seen much of a shift away from it so far. It really came probably July, August, September. And it was a strong shift towards farming. Our farming products really picked up. So lots of people looking at postcards and letters and things like that, which we have a ton of. We have expired drip campaigns that you can use, like their postcards that then you would send them every other day. You could send them a postcard for expireds. We have FSBOs. We have I'm a new agent. All of that stuff is in there.
And yeah, just go to the site that I posted, put in farming, and it's like 196 results. Like, I think you need to
that one right there on top. It's $197, but that's a farming kit that gives you a full year of farming. And the cool thing is it's these 4 PDFs. It breaks it down into quarters, and then under each quarter, everything that's underlined on the PDF actually links back to that product that you see there.
Wow. Unreal. I mean, is this stuff like done? You redo it every year? I can't even imagine.
Not always.
Okay.
That one, I think this will be the 2nd year for that one. And we are thinking about maybe coming up with another one. But the newsletters, we do new newsletters. We have a bundle from 20, but as I say, they're new. Like if you never used our newsletters before, you could start on the bundle that we made in 2021 because none of them are dated, really. We base them off of the month. We make a new one every month. And they're really general information. Typically with our newsletters, I try to stick to like 1 real estate article, 1 self-promotion, like here are our numbers, how awesome am I? Like a home maintenance type thing, a market update, and then usually some sort of interior design tip or article, like how to wash your pillows. That was one of them. Like a lot of people don't know that there's actually like certain ways that you should wash different types of pillows, organization tips, that kind of stuff. So we actually also have that as a membership. That's also $5 a month, and you get an 8.5 by 11 newsletter. And then that same newsletter you get in an email style. And then you also get it where it's sized for social media stories.
Wait a minute. You've been holding that on me. I was just going to ask you, is there a digital newsletter? Because I think that's awesome too. So, wow.
So we do email newsletters as well.
Do you see people posting that on Facebook just sharing the newsletter, or is it mainly?
Not really. The newsletter, we make it sized for stories because I liked it better that way, because then you can actually do highlights, and you can add them to your highlights.
Yeah.
You could do a highlight for every month, or you could do this month's newsletter as your highlight and then just delete old months if you want to, whatever. But that way it stays. Like on your feed post, things fall to the bottom, right? As you post, they just go away. But on your stories and on your highlights, that's a little bit more permanent. So that's why we ended up going towards that. Also, you can put links in your stories. So we really want people to be able to link a lot of the information. Now the emails, we break it into two different sizes for the emails. That's a little confusing to people, but we do that to create visual interest, and that will allow people that are reading your email in their email to actually read it longer, because there's different sizes of images, and it's kind of a subconscious thing, but that's why we do it.
Love it. And it's really staying top of mind, reminding people who you are, what you do for a living. I mean, do you find that that's the secret sauce when it comes to all this stuff? Because you said a lot of things like for example, how to wash your pillow. Like, everybody's going to lay their head on their pillow tonight. So what they're going to think about? They're going to think about you. Marketing, and that's how I look at marketing, is how can I put stuff that everyday live people think and do and go and use. So that's the beautiful part about what you do.
And also everything that we make ultimately sets you as the credible expert in your niche. And that's my job, is to make you look like that. So that's why I think, like, the membership, I really wanted our newsletter membership to include all 3 sizes for the price of one. Because if you go to our website, if you went and looked for the February newsletter, it's $5. All of the newsletter items are $5 each. So your 8.5 by 11 is $5, your email is $5, and your stories is $5. But if you sign up for a membership, you get all 3 for $5 a month. But that's why, again, back to, I take out all the hurdles, because we want you to be the expert. So we're trying to set you up as the expert in as many different marketing ways as possible. So that includes social media, email, door knocking, everything. We want you to look like you know what you're talking about.
It's so funny, Kelly. So I was talking to an agent on a Friday quite a while ago, and I said, "Hey, what are you doing over the weekend?" She goes, "Oh, I'm going to put my social media calendar together." And I'm like, "Whoa, what?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm going to I said, "I got something for you. Let me text you this real quick. I want you to look at it." I said, "So this pretty much is done. Like, every day, all week, text to your phone." She's like, then I go, "So now what you going to do?" And she's like, "Well, I guess I'm going to drink some more then. This is all done." So she bought the $5.
I love it.
I don't know who's saying this, because it says Zoom user. It says, "I started to create my own," which, oh my God, that just gives me a headache. This is so great. It will save me hours of time. Thanks for the introduction to this site. Fantastic. When sending the emails, I think this is a question. Is there a disclaimer for unsubscribe where it won't be spam? What is the open rate? Or is that's different for everybody, but.
Yeah, so I will say, I'm going to just skim the water on this one, because this is a question that this could be its own webinar. Just so you know, if you're going to do this email marketing, you cannot do it through Google. You cannot do it through Outlook. This is not the type of email that you send through that type of communication portal. You are going to need to use your broker's email system if they provide it. So like KV Core, whatever Keller Williams is called now, your back end systems that they provide you. If for some reason they don't provide that for you, or if you don't like it, I love MailChimp, Flowdesk, Constant Contact. Those are 3 systems that I've used, all 3 of them, and they're pretty user-friendly. I prefer Constant Contact, but I think MailChimp is very similar to it. There is going to be a cost for this. So just be prepared for that. So I do want to say, like, if you're going to do email marketing, be prepared, like, have it be a whole marketing channel for you. Don't just do 1 or 2. But you're going to need a system like that to send it out. How you do it is you then take the templates, you make them your own inside of Canva, and then you're going to download them to your computer as an image. And then all you'll need to do is upload them into the software. So like MailChimp, you're just going to upload it to MailChimp as an image, and then just insert pictures. Instead of building it out from their platform, you're just going to insert the pictures that you made in Canva.
Awesome. And I'm going to do an email class, because I do a ton of email marketing. So I think it's a great. I mean, I think everybody should know. Yeah.
Just to answer that question, one little thing is the unsubscribe. Legally, they make you put that in the bottom of your emails. So you don't have to worry about that when you're using a software like MailChimp, Constant Contact, KV Core, whatever.
Awesome. Love it. Great answer. I love constant contact too. I mean, like it's like $10 for 500 contacts.
Yeah.
Super cheap. So
yeah.
Excellent. Any other questions for Kelli? So Kelli, this has been unbelievable. Thank you so much for all your, I honestly God didn't know you were actually in real estate too. So you're super busy. How big is your, how big is the team to create all this stuff? I mean, like, is this this has got to be a kind of a big ordeal, right? I'm just curious.
Probably not as big as you think. So there's me, and then I have 3 junior designers. I have a copywriter, and then I have an assistant.
Wow. Okay. Good for you. Yeah. Just incredible stuff. I love the newsletter part. So I'll be selling people that too as well. So I talk about it. I talk about you all the time. I'm just honored to have you here.
I appreciate that.
Say, go watch your class. This is where we, so. All right. Any final words for Kelli before we sign off?
And if you guys think of anything afterwards, feel free to just jump on the website, send me a message out there. And you can always find me on all social media as Elevated Agent.
Excellent.
Follow me on Instagram. I'm so close to 5,000 followers. I'm like, yes, I'm not passively pushing anymore. I'm physically like, please go follow me.
Right.
Just want to hit that 5,000.
Awesome. Congratulations, Kelli. Amazing what you've done, what you've put in place. I'm sure your real estate business, I'd love to maybe have you back on. Anytime you want to come back on, I'd love to have you back on. So thank you so much for what you do and forever grateful for what you put together. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone for being on here. I appreciate it.
All right, guys, same time, same place next week, right here on Fresh Agent Marketing. Appreciate you guys. Honored to be a part of your lives. So we'll see you on the web. Everybody, be safe. Take care.